A key feature of the municipal solid waste management rule is the duty entrusted with the municipal authority. Municipal authority is the key institutional mechanism that has been entrusted with important functions relating to solid waste management, which includes infrastructure development for collection, storage, segregation, transportation, processing and disposal of municipal solid wastes. As we can see that municipal authority is duty bound to establish infrastructures for all these key processes involved in the management process, in the process of solid waste management. This also includes house to house collection of municipal solid wastes. And there is an important part of this provision is that the municipal authority is expected to arrange house to house collection on a basis of pre-informed timings and schedules. And the duty of the municipal authority also involves establishment and maintenance of hygienic and sanitary storage facilities. That means another major duty is the arrangement of storage facilities for municipal solid wastes. And the rule also provides some minute technical aspects of storage facilities. For example, it says that the storage facility should not be opened, or it also says that the storage facility should be aesthetically acceptable and user friendly. And there is another interesting aspect of the storage facility as or the rules relating to storage of municipal solid waste is that it prescribes different colors for different kind of municipal solid wastes. For example, it says green color storage facility for biodegradable wastes, white color for recyclable waste and black color for other wastes. One important aspect to be mentioned in this context is that it starts, the important provisions or the most of the provisions of municipal solid waste management rules focuses on the post generation aspects of municipal solid waste, because it starts from collection, transportation and ends in the disposal of municipal solid waste. So the key question is, what about the generation of waste? So as far as one of the important aspect of waste management is the viable approach. The preferred approach should be from cradle to grave approach. That means the policy should focus, the focus of the policy should begin from the generation of the waste. That means we have to minimize the generation of wastes, and whatever wastes are generated, then we have to have a mechanism for eco-friendly management and disposal of such wastes. But the municipal solid waste management rules seems to be inadequately focusing on the generation part of the process. Other important regulations as far as prescribed under the municipal solid waste rules is the manual handling of waste. It prohibits manual handling of municipal solid waste. However, this prohibition is not absolute. There are some exceptions, because manual handling of waste is permitted under some exceptional circumstances or some unavoidable circumstances. But the rules also prescribes that whenever the municipal handling or the manual handling of wastes is to be permitted, there should be adequate precaution or proper precaution for the safety of workers. It also provides for covering of vehicles using transportation of wastes. Another major rule provided under the municipal solid waste management rules is regarding landfills. It discusses about, or it deals with some technical aspects of landfills. For example, the distance to be maintained from the habitat clusters and forest areas or water bodies of national parks. It also talks about the technical aspects of landfill. For example, construction of non-permeable lining system at the base and walls of waste disposal area. It also addresses the post-closure part of landfill. For example, indirectly or directly, it insists that landfills can't be neglected after closure. The rules insist, or the rule prescribes that it has to be taken care of by the municipal authorities at least for 15 years after its closure. It also talks about periodic health inspections of workers at landfill site. So what we can see is that broadly it addresses municipal, or the management involves, or it addresses or tries to address the waste management issues from its collection or door-to-door collection to transportation to storage, including in the context of landfills. As far as landfill is concerned, one of the important issues that arises in this context is the environmental injustice involved in this process. For example, we also have to look at where these wastes are being dumped, particularly in the context of landfill. This is the context where a number of public protests needs to be public protest against landfill that needs to be looked. For example, in many cases, these municipal solid wastes are being dumped in remote areas where poor and vulnerable people lives, or particularly to put in a different way, particularly in the urban context, wastes are being collected from the urban areas and being dumped at the peri-urban or rural areas where poor and vulnerable people are living. So this is a clear case of environmental injustice involved in the municipal solid waste management process. Now, another major part of this another key dimension of this role is the monitoring part. As far as monitoring is concerned, the duty is entrusted with the State Pollution Control Board, and this is Pollution Control Board is entrusted with the duty to ensure compliance with the rules, and the monitoring also involves the waste processing and monitoring of waste processing and disposal facilities. So let's move on to the next major legal instrument, that is electronic waste management. So before we get into it, what is the major context in which we discuss electronic waste? Electronic waste is the electrical and electronic equipment rejected after their manufacturing or repairing process. So broadly speaking, it talks about end-of-life electronic equipments. So what to do with these end-of-life electronic equipments? Why we are concerned with such electronic waste? Because over the last few decades in India especially, we have seen increased use of electronic equipment. So why this increased use of electronic equipment is an issue? Because we are slowly moving towards or into the habit of changing our electronic equipment quite often, because the technology is being upgraded almost on a routine basis. So everyone has a tendency to upgrade their electronic equipment that leads to discarding of the previous equipment. So this electronic waste is a serious issue that India is facing currently. So one of the major reasons for this electronic waste issue is our focus is only on use of electronic equipments, and we tend to discard what happens to all those electronic waste or discarded electronic equipments or the end of life electronic equipments. The process of management of electronic waste involves collection, scientific dispose, recycling and reuse of electronic wastes. So an interesting part to be noticed in this process is electronic waste is not completely a waste. There could be many substances that can be recycled and reused. So in this case, recycling and reuse are major parts of electronic waste management process. And electronic waste management and handling rules was adopted in 2011. Again, this instrument was also adopted under the Environment Protection Act 1986. The purpose of this legal instrument was to ensure environmentally sound management of electronic waste, which essentially includes recycling and reuse. When we say that the current scenario in the context of electronic waste management is largely this is being managed by the unorganized sector. That means we are in need of a proper organized sector for e-waste management. So what are the key features of the e-waste rules 2011? So a major feature of the e-waste rules 2011 is this idea called extended producer's responsibility. So this means the duty is upon the producers of the electronic equipment to design and implement a proper system for collection as well as of environmentally sound management of electronic wastes. So that means it is for the producers to set up the proper establishment for proper management of e-wastes. And while it is so, it provides an exception to bulk consumers, because it is the duty of the bulk consumers to channelize all their e-waste generated in their establishments and to let it reach to the proper mechanisms established by the producers. And like almost all other legal instruments in the context of waste management, the monitoring duty is upon the Pollution Control Board. Some of the important aspects of this monitoring is that all e-waste management establishments require a no objection certificate from the State Pollution Control Board. And when we say no objection certificate, this also plays a critical role in the context of interstate movement of electronic wastes, because in this case a permission from the State Pollution Control Board of all transit states are also mandatory. And another monitoring part is that producers are required to maintain a record of e-waste, and then it is the duty of the State Pollution Control Board to scrutinize the record.